Welcome everyone to the September 26th, year of our Lord 2025 edition of the Zooch and Wilde podcast. Zooch, before we get started, we got a great show today. Toxman race, a couple big injuries, a big time coach has been fired as of the recording today. Talk a little about that, and we are just going into just a powerhouse week. Like this is the one where I literally have in my calendar, like, you need to set some time or have a fully charged phone to like watch it all day, no matter what activity you're doing. Like, this is the
Nope.
weekend to be selfish. I have already let the people I'm golfing with know on Saturday that, hey, I'm bringing a portable charger. I'm setting up YouTube TV quad box with my phone. And I'm not going to lie, my brain's not going to be on this skins game that we're playing. But Zeus, before we get into it, how was Montana?
It was a good time. It was Montana's one of those funny places that, like, if people have never actually been there, it's like they watched Yellowstone and think that, like, it looks like that all year round. And Montana is beautiful, but it's kinda like one of those you get a couple months out of the year that are like, it is beautiful too in the winter, but it is not like you're not, like, sitting by the campfire in the winter there because there's a million feet of snow and it's 4 degrees outside. But no, super pretty, great wedding. Was with the Voice-Ins watching the Oklahoma game.
We'll get into
Cody.
that right now. I mean, we're gonna jump into that because I was gonna say the Heisman race is heated up. Oklahoma defeats Auburn and Jackson Arnold in the return of the prodigal son. And dude, John Mateer looked really really good in this game, and he was the clear cut winner for Heisman, man. And the news just broke this week that he's getting surgery, gonna be out for a few weeks, probably gonna miss Red River, which could have been a Heisman moment game. First, I want to ask you a two-parter question, Zooch. One, what either impressed or unimpressed you with Auburn, or impressed you with Oklahoma in this game? And then, who do you have going forward as your Heisman kind of front runner? Because Mateer's done. Like, it was
Yeah,
Mateer,
you can't
and
you
now
can't
you
miss
just
that
can't
many
miss a month.
weeks.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same story with my impressed and unimpressed. I was super impressed with Oklahoma's defensive line and super unimpressed with Auburn's offensive line. I think they had what, like 10 sacks?
Yeah.
And now it's
That
like I get Oklahoma's got a good defense, but 10 sacks is just I mean, if you get what, like I don't even know if you have 10 drives in a game half the time, and so you're getting sacked like it over. I'll like look real quick to see how many drives they had. Ooh, and they traveled to A&M. This week is just loaded.
no, it seriously is. It's
So
like,
they ran. We'll just do it by plays. Okay. Um, they threw it 33 times and ran it 35 times. So 68 plays. That means a little over one in every 7 plays you were getting sacked. Can't have that. Like that is it's a drive killer most of the time. I mean, every once in a while you'll see someone get out of that, like it'll be like 3rd and 15 or whatever, they'll get a first down. But yeah, I mean that defense for Oklahoma, ungodly. I still do worry about their running game though. I
oh,
really
it's.
think that they had 26 carries for 32 yards.
I mean,
That
we're
is
gonna see
just
them. We're gonna see them without Mateer soon, and we're gonna see them play a Texas defense here in a couple weeks. That even though they've lost a ton of defensive linemen to the draft, that's a Texas D line that and a Texas defense that held up with Ohio State. That's looked really good. That's essentially kept that program from kind of cratering this year with Arch Manning's struggles. Like, that's going to be a serious test for them in 2 weeks, I think.
yeah, and you have to be able to like it was Ole Miss's downfall last year. They could not run the ball, and it doesn't matter. Like, even in those games that you don't necessarily think you're gonna get, like, "Oh, we're probably not gonna lose this one." In the SEC, if you can't if and I'm not saying you have to have, like, 200 and something yards a game, but you've you have to be able to get to that, like, over 100, at
Hmm.
least semi-consistently. Like, I get it against Texas if you're not able to do that. Like it's like, oh, okay, like we knew like coming into this, we weren't going to be able to really run the ball that well, but they are they're averaging 3.6 yards a carry right now, and
That's just
it's
not
not gonna get
acceptable.
it done. And I mean, you that can be the difference in you winning some of those games against the lesser competition and losing. Like if you can't, it gives you the ability to like grind down the clocks because there will be games. Like I get their defense is great, but there are going to be games coming up that the teams have a better offense than Illinois State, Michigan, Temple, and
Yeah.
Auburn. Like I don't
Do you
think any
see
of
a
those.
lot of do you see a lot of similarities in this year's Oklahoma team versus because you brought up a good point when you said Ole Miss last year like struggled in this. And I mean, you can kind of see a lot of similarities with this OU team and last year's Ole Miss team. You got a stud quarterback who's probably going to go in the first two rounds, just a high powered offense, receivers who are going to be playing in the NFL, a defense that's good enough at times with studs. And you just can't run the ball. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
we
almost.
saw what it did.
It,
I mean, it killed Ole Miss in its last two losses at the end of the year.
yeah, it's almost. I mean, last year Ole Miss's defense was fantastic. I mean, that defensive line was literally like the best in the nation. Like people couldn't run against them. But yeah, you just have to be like there are going to be those games where you have to grind down the clock a little bit because it's not like that's the part that they're a little different. It's not like that offense right now is just out of like you're not looking at it and you're like, "Oh, okay, like they got 4 or 5 receivers who can get the ball and make a huge play." Like they're scoring. I mean, they got over 40 against Temple, 35 against Illinois State, 24 against Michigan, 24 the other day. So it's not like they're averaging 50 something points a game and you're like, "Oh, okay, like maybe we don't need the running game to be that great or whatever." But I mean, we'll see with them, especially with Mateer being out. They have Kent State,
Yeah.
or they have a bye this week, and then Kent State, and then it's Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri,
Oh,
LSU.
it
So
is. No, I mean, we talked about it. The SEC is just a buzzsaw this year, man. And, part of it, the bummer for me is we were really high on John Mateer last year and this year, as well as like a lot of John Mateer has been like the true, I'd say like the ball watcher pick, if that makes sense. It's like everyone who like watches the games on FS1 and was like watching Washington State last year, they're like, this guy has a chance to win the Heisman if playing in Oklahoma, an Oklahoma system. Man, I'm pulling up the Heisman odds right now. And it shocked me who, according to this was posted today, the year of our Lord 2025, September 23rd. John Mateer has the highest odds to win Heisman. Now, I don't know if this article has updated since the injury. I want you to guess what is the player with the second highest odds as of right now, because it's just the funniest thing ever. And it would probably be like a return, with Y2K fashion coming in, back get involved in the Middle East. We need like an early 2000s, like late 90s Heisman winner where it's just like, how the hell did this guy win Heisman? Can
the
you
Jason
guess?
White effect.
Can you guess who it is?
I would say based based on who they beat and the kind of the hype they're getting, either Carson Beck and then
Carson Beck's number 3.
is
There is a
Mendoza on there from
It is
Indiana?
Fernando
Okay.
Mendoza has the second highest odds behind John Mateer. And John Mateer is going to miss 4 games, so I don't know if that's updated or not. That's just insane. I mean, Fernando Mendoza just been balling out this year. Now, I will say with Indiana, they beat the shit out of Illinois. Like
Yeah.
Indiana looks really, really good. Like, and it pains me as a Cal fan to like say this, but like, I do love Fernando Mendoza. Like, he is a good player. I think Fernando Mendoza, he needs what Indiana lacked last year is like they beat good teams, but they didn't even compete with the great teams. Now I'm gonna pull up their schedule real quick. Indiana football schedule. And I'm going to show you a game. I want everyone to circle November 8th on their calendar and October 11th for Indiana. That's when they play Oregon and Penn State. If Mendoza has good games against both of those, it just keeps doing what he's doing like he played last week, dude, he's going to win Heisman. Welcome back, Chris Weinke.
Yeah.
Welcome,
No,
welcome
I
back,
mean,
Eric Crouch.
well, that's kind of the what's been odd about this year and as a whole, I would say, is like, okay, if you pull together, like, all right, who's going to be, because it's usually quarterbacks that people look at, let's be honest, for Heisman. Like, if you said, who are your like top five, just including quarterbacks, you'd have had Arch Manning, DJ Lagway,
Nussmeyer.
uh, Nussmeyer, and none of those three have really done anything. I mean, we'll get to them a little bit later, Nussmeyer in particular. Other than that, I mean, Mateer, you had a little bit
Little
of
bit.
Mateer,
Aller's still
uh,
hanging around there if he has a solid game this week.
Aller, and they,
Uh,
but and Penn State's only deal is they really just haven't.
they haven't played anyone.
Yeah, like if they win this weekend and Aller has a great game, he'll shoot up because they haven't like no one even know like I haven't even seen a Penn State game really on TV, so
They're playing
he could shoot up.
our friend Jeff Choate and they're playing Jeff Choate on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah, so it's like I mean, and they're just like they don't even still with the new OC and all. Yeah, Nevada, FIU, Villanova, like okay, like no one's gonna be, and it's and they had hype and stuff coming into this year, but they don't like running an exciting style of offense where it's like with Ole Miss last year, it's like, oh, okay, like they've scored like 60 points in every one of these games and they look like their offense looks incredible. And I'm not saying that Ole Miss team was better than this Penn State team, but that's just Penn State's not a highlight reel team for the
No,
most part.
that makes sense. And I want everyone to keep on a lookout. It's a player that I've been really high on and a team that's ranked. I'm high on them. I have them in my playoffs. Keep an eye on Josh Hoover. I'm telling you, keep an eye on Josh Hoover.
Yeah,
You can
they're
get some
sneaking
crazy
under the
games.
radar too.
They are.
Well, and
They just
like I
beat
wonder.
SMU.
Well, and like with I will see, and the thing with him is just can he stay healthy with how they play? But like even like Hayes King is kind of
Love Hanks King.
shooting up, and they have. I mean, my God, they have Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State, BC, Pitt, and then Georgia.
Could you
So,
imagine if
oh,
that?
Klubnik's one we forgot, by the way. It's looking at Georgia Tech's schedule of like one of the like Heisman type QBs. And my point with that was they're kind of getting replaced a little bit by these guys who weren't on anyone's radar. I mean, Mendoza wasn't on anyone's radar. Like Carson Beck, I guess maybe a little bit, but people had kind of,
No,
for the
they wrote
most
him
part,
off. I kind
wrote
of
him
wrote him off.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ole Miss beats LSU this weekend and Trinidad Chambliss starts, which I think he will, and has a great game, he's gonna be up there. Like they're starting to talk about him a little bit more. He's had two good games in a row and a win over a top four team. And that's how the Heisman works. And I think people don't see that sometimes is yes, you have the years where it's like the year Jameis Winston won it, right? Like Florida State was just beating the shit out of people like every single I think they
Yeah.
won like every game but the national title by like double digits.
Hmm.
So you get those, but you also have and it's been a lot more recent than not, you don't have especially with the playoff and you're able to lose one or two games and still get in. It doesn't seem like you have that wire to wire anymore with just how the transfer portal works and guys are in different spots. You know, it used to be like, oh, yeah, Reggie Bush is a Heisman front runner because this is his third year playing at USC and he's been excellent these 2 years. Same thing with Vince Young, Matt Leinart, whoever you like even Tim Tebow, even though it was only his second year, like everyone kind of felt like they knew what Tim Tebow was going to be like. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, as far as this last weekend goes, we talked about it last week. There weren't a lot of like great like looking games on paper, and I really they didn't end up being that good of games.
Oh,
Like that
they did
Utah
it.
Texas Tech
Yeah,
was
no,
good up until the fourth quarter,
Devin Dampierre,
which
man, he did not look great. I mean, that's the last thing I'll say about the games last week. He disappointed me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
and I think I don't know. I feel like last week, and I still think Utah can be good, make the playoff. We'll see. But I think last week kind of showed you a little bit that we're starting to get further and further into a point in time where the G5, even the really good G5 schools, and granted, Memphis beat Arkansas, but we don't know how good Arkansas is. We like UCF beat Florida, but Florida, I don't think could score against Nampa High School here in Idaho right now. But like you
Dead
look at it
man
and you're like,
walking.
okay, but you saw like UCF got destroyed by Miami, right? A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, USF. Yeah.
UCF was the G5 front runner. Tulane got bombarded by Ole Miss this weekend. They were kind of one of the front runners. I get, next week we'll see how Boise State does against Notre Dame, but I think you're starting to see that is expanding, even with like the transfer portal and like yeah, you'll get these guys who were former 5 stars, all that kind of stuff, but for every one you get, like even the teams, like you even see it, and it's more of SEC Big Ten uh, thing, I would say. You're just seeing like I said, even those really good, like Tulane and Memphis, are very good G4 schools, and they just didn't
No,
hold a candle to
no, you can. Yeah, it's interesting. They they're not what I'll say about it is I think the G5 and the G4 they are good enough to beat any team on any Sunday or any Saturday, like you saw with Memphis. I think it's going to be hard. It's harder than ever to get a 2010 Boise or an undefeated UCF. Where like you look at that 2010 Boise, it's like they beat like they had a 3 year stretch where they rattled off a couple wins against like power
right,
teams. I think it's going to be harder to do that, and it's kind of the talking point in college football. It's like yeah, like the G5 with the transfer portal still is good enough to pull off the one game upset. Like we're gonna have Memphis's beating Arkansas's forever. We're gonna have USF's beating Florida's forever. And it's like, what's the trade off where it's like with the sorry to go off on a tangent about the playoff, but it's like I'd like I think a team if Boise State goes undefeated deserve to get in because like they can win that first game, maybe even the second game. I know when Boise State, even the best Boise State team that's been in 15 years that played last year, I knew they had zero chance at winning the national championship. I thought
right,
they had a decent chance. No, I thought they had a decent chance of winning 1 or 2 games, but I
yeah.
knew there was
I
no
thought,
chance we were winning the national championship.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, like Penn State isn't going to score a ton of points. Maybe we have a shot. It's not gonna, like we're not going to beat them 45-10 or something. And then I'm at the game and I'm like, yeah, like you're kind of seeing like it, and it's. I don't even think it's as much as of a playmaker thing. Like obviously the Power Five has, for for the most part, better
No,
receivers,
it's a
better running
line
back.
thing.
It's a
It's a
line thing,
line.
and we like we watched every Boise State game and would see Ashton Genty. It was like easy for him to get 200 yards against these teams. And then you play Penn State and they're just those running lanes aren't there. And he still had a good like a relatively good game, but you don't like and that's where the playmaking thing comes into it. It's like, okay, like yes, we have Ashton Genty, arguably the best player in the nation. But outside of that, like we're lacking on wide receiver, we're lacking, you know, quarterback. Our quarterback is not really a playmaker type thing, and you kind of saw the same thing with Retzlaff against Ole Miss. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
he is very good but he didn't complete a pass until like he had like one completion, which is
Yeah,
just and Ole Miss's defense hasn't even really been it's been bad for the most part up until that point. Like not and it was bad against Arkansas, okay, against Kentucky, but it hadn't been, it's not LSU or Texas or Penn State or whoever. And you just saw like bigger, stronger, and faster. And like you said, they could like those teams can still catch someone. I'm not saying, oh, don't put an undefeated G5 in so you can put in 9-3 Missouri or whoever it might be. But I think people are also fooling themselves to think, and it goes for a lot of teams. It's not just G5 schools fooling themselves to think like, oh, this team is gonna. It's not college basketball, so I'll leave it at that. Like you're not
fair enough.
gonna get on this. Like, it's a totally different game. So,
No, it's
but who
it's
knows?
interesting. But last thing that we want to touch on before we move into the games tomorrow is one of one of the would you say the most memorable coaches of all time was let go this week. A man who's provided us so much content and just laughter and just like what the hell are you thinking, man moments. Mike Gundy. I just want like your reaction to Mike Gundy being released from OSU, or I guess what was it? He was asked to resign, is what it was, so he
Eh,
could leave with some dignity. Was the official wording? But just yeah, what's kind of like your thoughts just on how it ended, how you'll remember Mike Gundy? Just we need to give Mike Gundy some
I
time.
I honestly think Mike Gundy was while he did do some stupid stuff and he was never the type of guy who could help himself really. Like he always would like get something going and then do something that made people mad. But I mean, I honestly think he's probably one of the most underrated coaches of the last 20 years or so. That's about how long he's been at Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma State sucks as a program for the most. Like they they, they are not a
No, they
good
have Barry Sanders and Mike Gundy. That's their history.
right. And he had them like literally like a couple times plays away from going to the national championship game. So I think he's a really good coach who, and I think a lot of that, like being feisty and stuff, kind of comes into play when you're at a team who or a program that gets disrespected all the time, right? Like
Mhm.
everyone is always like, oh, like Oklahoma State, like especially when he came there, which was like '06 or whatever,
That
oh
was that
five,
was
oh
like
six.
Stoops' heyday. Stoops' heyday right there.
Stoops heyday, Mac Brown heyday. Nebraska, for the most part, had been good up until that was about when they started getting real bad. Colorado had been pretty good up until then. Kansas State was good under Bill Snyder at that point. So you're like, okay, like he comes around and he really, I mean, like he was weird because he would go like 12-1, and then I swear to God, the next year
Yeah.
go like 3-9. You're just like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't even know how like
Oh,
that happened. But he also brought like great recruits in. Like Des Bryant was fantastic there. Uh,
Blackman.
Justin Blackman, who I still think like if he just had like that man would get suspended, come back and have like 3 straight 200-yard receiving games and then like get suspended again. Like they had very, very good players. So I think he'll get picked up somewhere. It might be like a Dan Mullen type thing where
I think he'd be great for TV. I think he could do
he
really well
would
on
be.
TV.
And he is like, I don't think he's like an asshole or anything like that. I don't know personally. I think he's just fiery and like, but I think that's also what made him do so well at Oklahoma State. Like, I don't think like he obviously the guy loved it, loved Oklahoma State because you're not going to convince me that dude after what he did there was not getting job offers at programs at a higher level. Man, and I mean, he played there, all that stuff. Maybe he didn't, and he really wanted to stay there. So I think after all this blows over in a few years, they'll like put a statue out, which I think they should because he took that program to a level that it had not been, at least since Barry Sanders was there, and I don't even know, like, I Oklahoma State's one of the only programs I'm like, I do not know anyone other than Barry Sanders like, when I started watching football and
Thurman
they got
Thomas,
good,
that's
I
about
knew
it.
'em. Yeah,
They
like,
had Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders. No, but come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. So I'll miss you, Gundy. I'll miss your outbites. I'll miss you saying, hell, if that's a DUI. I mean, it's just so hard. It's how could you have come after me? I'm a man. I'm 40. And then still have certain sound bites and moments that's even wackier. Like the OAN shirt. It's just, it's
that's what
just
I mean.
hilarious.
And, like, I saw a ton of former players like,
Yeah, no,
they were
they were
sad
all
because 'cause they're like, "He, like, actually, like, loved me and, like, pushed me to be better," and all this stuff, so it's one of those sad ones because I will miss, like, also, for the person who took the quote from, Cash Patel's, I think his name, he's like, uh, have whatever it was, like, "Enjoy
yeah.
Five Valhalla, we have the watch, brother." I was like, "Alright, enough." That was
Uh,
completely unnecessary.
yeah, no, that was funny. We'll miss you, Gundy. We'll miss you, Gundy. But you know what, man? Enough of that. Let's now get into these just freaking crazy games, man. I mean, we're gonna spend the most time on this one because it's caused the most drama this week. LSU Ole Miss. Before we even start, we have to address the planned Instagram post of weeks. Star linebacker out of LSU, the hard launching the relationship with
It
Landry
was
Kiffin,
it
Lane
it
Kiffin and
was like
Dawkins.
she's the one who hard launched. She, like, snuck it in, like, the 3rd picture because I was trying to find it, I was like, "Did she," and I thought she might have deleted it, but I was like, "Oh, no, it's like a collage of different photos." It is such a it's what really makes me like Lane Kiffin because that happens, and, like, I guess people had, like, saw stuff about it for a while because I guess she posted a TikTok or something a while back that was, like, her getting ready on a game day, and there was, like, LSU stuff in the background, which I do
Mhm.
not follow her on TikTok or anything like that, so I had no clue, like, I've seen the ones that she'll post, like, with him, like, with Lane Kiffin getting ready. I've always thought they were funny because 'cause I'm like, if this man actually does go to Alabama and he is posting TikToks with his daughter, like, doing makeup and they have, like, an FSU type game, he is going to have to, like, go into hiding. But no, it does make the game the whole thing is funny, like, the dude some guy tweeted like, "Oh, Landry Kiffin hard launching her relationship with Whit Weeks. Uh, I'm gonna hammer the over," and, like, Lane Kiffin responds, and he's like, "Take the
Yep.
over." Lane Kiffin posted, like, the picture of her as, like, a baby, and he's like, "She'll be cheering for the Rebs." So he he loves that kinda stuff, like, and I think, like, I would kill for someone to ask Brian Kelly about it,
Oh,
like,
Brian
that would
Kelly
just be
definitely is the kind of guy to be like, we just got to stay focused on this. Like we're not concerned with all the outside noise. And like secretly, like he is like on his phone like 45 minutes before he goes to bed, just like trying to figure out like what's going on, my freaking players.
like, my linebacker is dating. And, like, the people have been funny who are like, she's gonna, like, look through his phone at the, like, defensive play
Yeah.
calls and signals and stuff like that, and it's just the whole thing really is funny because in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it makes sense that she would be dating him," like, I am sure at, like, a SEC media day or something, she was with Lane Kiffin, he was with Brian Kelly, they started, like, talking all like, she's the daughter of the most famous guy in the state right now. I hate to break it to all my SEC or all my Ole Miss frat bros out there. She's looking for bigger and better things than what you had. Like last year,
You're
someone was like,
telling you're telling me that she'd rather date a successful player that's probably gonna play in the NFL than someone who's gonna be drinking 15 Keystone Lights, ripping a Dave Matthews at 1 a.m. in the morning post bars? You're telling me that?
Exactly. And it's the whole thing is like, I mean, even I think it was last year, maybe the year before, someone like tweeted a Lane Kiffin like, "Oh, if you hit the over, I'll take your daughter to Chili's." And he like responded, "She's not a Chili's girl." So he has fun with it. Like I think some people are probably taking it like way too serious, like thinking way too much about 2 20-something year old people dating each other. But in terms of the game, I'm actually really excited because I think
No,
you're gonna.
it's gonna be a good one.
Well, and my thing is, so when you look at LSU, defenses looked great, right? I think we all can agree that the defenses look great, but I also think far and away, like, okay, and I don't even think like it's debatable, but Clemson, I don't think has scored over 24 points this year. Oh, okay, yes, they did score. Clemson has scored 10 against LSU, 27 against Troy, 21 against Georgia Tech, and 21 against Syracuse. So offense clearly isn't doing anything. Louisiana Tech, we can look at theirs. It's a Sun Belt team now. Florida has one of the worst offenses. I mean, I was texting you after the wedding the other night. I'm like, how in the F do you go 0 and 13 on third down conversions? They
Yeah,
had,
it's so bad.
what was it? Like 6 fourth down conversions and like 7
They
first
went
downs.
it was something like they had less than 10 first downs, and they went for it on 4th down like 4 or 5 times. Like, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, so I think coming into this game, and both teams have questions. I do think the LSU defense is good. I think far and away, though, this is going to be the best offense they've played this year. I don't even think that is being completely reasonable. Florida and Clemson have bad offenses. Southeast Louisiana is a FCS school, and Troy is a Sun Belt team. Or not Troy, sorry. Louisiana Tech. I mean, actually, maybe Louisiana Tech is CUSA or something now. Or
I
yeah,
think they are
CUSA, I think.
CUSA.
Uh so they haven't played a great offense. Defense, I still think is very good. Like they have, and I would think the defense was better if Clemson and Florida had looked any better against anyone else they've played this year. And I mean, they've looked. Clemson has looked a little bit better, but not like you're not like, boy, that Clemson offense is like, how good is that LSU defense? Because Clemson has scored like 40 points in every game since then. Florida, literally, it's all like Florida had threw 5 interceptions in that LSU game, and LSU still came away with 20 points. I think that's a little bit, and kind of like with Oklahoma, their run game is a little bit concerning. Now, on the flip side of that, I also think the Ole Miss defense is a little bit concerning. Like,
Yeah.
so, and granted, I mean, if Arkansas is undefeated right now, Taylor Green would be the Heisman frontrunner. In my opinion, he's been spectacular. But when it comes, the only game that Ole Miss looked horrible defensively was against Arkansas, and that first half they could not. I don't think they got a single stop the first half. It was just Taylor Green going down the field. Second half, they held them to 7 points, which is after allowing 28 or whatever it was. I think it was 28 in the first half. Allowing someone to score 7 means you made some good adjustments, or you were reading plays better than you were in the first half. You were starting to understand, like, okay, like I need to contain a little more outside than normal because Taylor Green is really fast, has long stride, all that kind of stuff. So I almost feel like this is like a coin flip game. I know Ole Miss is favored, but I really don't know what to think of like, and it kind of goes a little bit for the Ole Miss offense too. Like they've looked fantastic, but Arkansas is bad at defense. Tulane, G5 school, Kentucky, usually pretty good at defense, but not like
Yeah.
otherworldly.
No.
And Georgia State allowed like 70, I think, to Vanderbilt. So Georgia State is bad at defense. So I am leaning Ole Miss because it's in Oxford, and I still I think I have more questions about LSU right now than I do Ole Miss. Like, I do think Ole Miss is gonna allow points. I'm not out of my mind. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, it's gonna be 28-10 Ole Miss." But I do worry that that LSU offense has, because the defense has been so good, has gotten away with they haven't been very good, and maybe and I don't even really believe, like, against Clemson and against Florida, you're not, like, hiding your playbook. I don't like that's not a thing. And I do think Clemson and Florida have a better defense than Ole Miss does, but they can't get the run game going. Nussmeier
That's what I
can
was gonna
be
say.
excellent
Like
at times, but he
Nussmeier.
also can be bad at like, very bad at certain
No,
times,
my
so
my whole thing in this game is like the opposites of quarterback play. You have Trinidad Chambliss, who essentially is look. I know Ole Miss fans kind of want to win now. But this is a guy who's playing with house money right now. Like this is the
yeah.
guy who essentially like doesn't like he wasn't supposed to start this year. He wasn't supposed to like see the field this year. And here's a guy Nussmeier who's like ranked high in the Heisman, like almost like essentially like what was top four with everyone's pick
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Heisman this year. But like, it's just incredible to me that like, in my opinion, it really comes down to the quarterback play and like seeing how like I like I'm just so at a loss for words right now because I'm so fired up for this game. Like I don't know what to
Oh,
expect. What's the line on this game?
no. It's I think it moved down to Ole Miss by 1.5. It is yep, Ole Miss by 1.5. Over under is 54.5. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting game because I feel like it's like I don't know that Ole Miss fans thought they couldn't win this game at the beginning of the year. I think they thought, "Oh, it's gonna be like LSU is gonna be really good. The defense is gonna be improved, yada, yada, yada." But it's I think it's kind of flipped a little bit to where now Ole Miss fans are like, "Oh, like, yeah, we think we are gonna win this game," and LSU fans are a little more concerned than they were
Mhm.
coming into it, and that just I mean, I think it also is time to start giving Lane Kiffin a little bit of credit, like and sure, maybe Ole Miss goes
I think he
out and
gets
gets
credit.
I think he should be getting credit in terms of, like I think a lot, like and yeah, he doesn't have the national championship, but I think a lot and, like, he should be behind, like, if you ranked SEC coaches, like, behind Kirby Smart, but I think, like, you can I think he's proven now that they are more so here to stay. It's not like I think
Mhm.
a lot of people, like, thought, like, "Oh, last this is the one Ole Miss team who's gonna be really good, and they'll go back to being at best 8-4 or whatever it is." But no, I mean, he has that program firing, and we're gonna get to see this weekend because if, like, they like I said, if they win that game and Trinidad Chambliss say, like, I think he'll start. I don't think Austin Simmons will start. Trinidad Chambliss throws for 300 something yards again, has 3 TDs. He is going to be up there for the Heisman. And like,
Mhm.
and granted, it is Ole Miss, and it would be the most sim thing to do to off a bye week lose to Washington State. But
Oh, that'd be so funny. I'm sorry to even put that in the universe, but that would be so funny.
like, I would not even be shocked. But and maybe like I said, I don't think Kentucky's that good. Arkansas defensively, obviously, is bad. Georgia State's not good, and Tulane is a very good G5 school. So
Yeah, we will
I'm
see.
leaning. I think I'm gonna say 29-24 Ole Miss. That's what I'm gonna put my prediction at, and I think it's gonna
I
be
also
a
like Ole Miss. I think this is a classic Kelly blow it angry game for him.
well, and like 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 I get Clemson was in Death Valley, Clemson's Death Valley, but they haven't. Like I said, they just haven't played an offense yet who is going to push them. I don't think like Ole Miss, like Lane Kiffin knows how to coach an offense. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, he has a dude from Ferris State who has looked really good over the past couple weeks, which is not like I said, I get it was Arkansas and Tulane, but even still, like that is a about as big of a step up in competition as you can have if you're a quarter. Like, I mean, that to me is not much bigger than, or not much smaller than high school to
College.
college. So, like, I mean, what Ferris State is like Division 2. So,
Yeah.
well, that's the game I'm most excited for because I just
No.
think and it's underrated, and I get why. Like Georgia and Alabama, as they should be the premier SEC game. I saw a lot of Ole Miss fans were upset that it's a day game. But honest to God, I feel like half the time those day games give you a better chance to win. I
Look,
don't know why
the
I
day
feel like
games are
that, but
only bad for the people. I've always said this. Day games are only bad for the people who've got to be in the stadium. I love being able to be like at noon watching on TV. It's like
yeah,
it's way better.
and I think I don't know. I feel like I feel like a lot of times when I've watched specifically up until last year, like SEC on CBS, like when they when a team like Ole Miss, who was and technically no, they're not the underdog, but like the lower ranked team gets the higher ranked team in that afternoon spot, it goes better than the night spot. I have no proof to like say that, but that's just kind of how I feel. So I'm
That's fair.
excited. I'm gonna sit down extremely nervous and hope the Rebs can win.
Awesome. Yeah. Let's touch on. All right, Zooch. We're gonna go rapid fire with the rest of these games because guys, there's so many like premier matchups. I'm just counting them up now. We got one, two, three, four, five ranked versus ranked matchups. Four ranked versus ranked matchups this week. So Zuch, I'm gonna run through them and the ranked versus ranked matchups plus a couple other big ones that I thought might be interesting. I want you to give me a winner and a one sentence on why. All right, you ready for this? It's gonna be quite a bit. Rapid fire.
Yep.
First game, early slate. The number 21 ranked USC Trojans versus the Illinois Fighting Illini, ranked 23 in the nation.
USC and Lincoln Riley.
Awesome. No, I'm the same. I think Illinois might have been a little bit overrated. Altmaier's been a little bit disappointing this year, so I got SC in this as well. Gonna slide in this game. Not a ranked versus ranked, but still could get interesting. Auburn, Texas A&M.
Ooh, that one is God. There's so many good games this weekend. I'm gonna say I'm gonna go A&M, and I'm gonna go with the coach again. I'm gonna go Elko.
Elko, love it. All right, next one we got. You already talked about the LSU versus Ole Miss. Let's get to one of the big hitters, and you can give more than one word for these next two because these next two ones are premier. This is the one I'm actually most excited for. We got Oregon versus Penn State.
Ooh, this is. I am going, and I know I'm gonna regret it. I'm going Penn State with
Big, big
the
game, James.
with the. I'm trying to think. I can't think of the word. If James Franklin loses this game and makes me look like an idiot again, I get a 10 minutes next week on just clowning him for losing, and it's a right out game. You have to win, James Franklin. You have to win, and you have to know that Kim Jong Un Jr., uh, aka Dan Lanning, he learned from the best on how to warp the media into making you like get all hysterical. Will be coming. He will be coming.
Oh,
But
that's true.
I'm
He did
going
learn
Penn
from the
State.
best. Awesome. And then we have the premier SEC matchup. We got Bama versus Georgia. Who do you got?
I'm going Bama in this one.
Any
And Ty
particular
Simpson. I
ties?
think
Really?
I think after this week, I know you have Mendoza. I know, or people have Mendoza, Carson Beck as their Heisman front runners. I think Chambliss and Ty Simpson will be on that list after this week. I still believe Alabama is going to be a really good team this year.
No, they should be. And Ty Simpson was in the top 10 for Heisman odds when we were checking in our little Heisman segment. But yeah, this is just going to be a great week of games, man. I'm so stoked. But before we move on, Zooch, our new reoccurring segment, man, the upset alert. Our upsets were so close to getting correct last week. I was close.
I
You
should
were
have went with
close.
freaking Memphis. I should have
I
went
know
with
you almost pulled the trigger on Memphis. I'll give you half of one for Memphis. But Zooch, My upset this week, and I'm laying this thing on the table right now. I think Washington's got a shot, man. I think Washington's got a shot to beat Ohio State. It's a day game on the West Coast. This is Julian Sayan's first time in a real road environment. We saw what Bryce Underwood looked like that first time big game, like truly big game. Washington's looked really good. Demond King is a guy who the Manning Passing Academy, they raved about this guy. Washington at home, they got a chance. Look, I'm not going to go push my whole bowl in just yet. I'm just going to say, upset alert, got a chance. Washington over Ohio State.
Okay. I'm actually going, and it's an under the radar game. Haven't even talked about it yet. I'm going Virginia over Florida State.
Wow.
Friday
Wow.
night, I feel like Friday night games can have a little bit of that funk to them, and I feel like it might, like, those type of games where
That
it's
would set
like
the tone for the weekend.
three broken plays like lead to and I know you've watched, like, especially with us as Boise State fans, and we'll be like stroll in for a Friday night, and a lot of effing times those Saturday night like 9 p.m. starts where
Yep.
like, oh, okay, like Colorado State, this should be an easy one, and at halftime you're like, okay, it's 31-10 because they have 370+ yard touchdowns, and our defense is not allowed over like 200 yards all year long. What's going on? So yeah, I'm going the Cavaliers to upset Florida
Cavaliers.
State.
I like it. I like the Cavaliers pick. I almost chose ASU over TCU, but I got to stay strong with my Hoover Heisman pick. So, can't pick against the boy. Going to go on to the list every week, the reoccurring
Okay.
segment where we bring, look, I only got two this week. I'm not going to lie. Where we bring you funny tweets. We show you the tweets. We neither support nor condone these tweets. We just show you what we see online. And Zooch, I got this first one. Can I take this one first? Because I only got
Yes.
two. And guys, I'm just gonna say this right now. There was a lot that had to get weeded out this week. I always say if you want to see the X-rated version, hit us up. I cannot share a lot of the ones that were in my feed. I couldn't even like them because of the digital footprint. Like they just popped up. You burners, man, you guys are getting real creative with some stuff. But this first one comes from at Travis Heem, talking about the TCU SMU game. He goes, TCU versus SMU being a whiteout feels a little bit too on the nose for me. Jail. Jail for Travis. Jail for Travis. This next one, we do a segment every year at the Settle Down Awards called List of the Year nomination. And this is it. This one, I think, is an official's submission already. Comes from at Melbourne_82. Just look at his videos. Just look at his replies to these videos. And it's a video of a certain event that happened in Arizona with a certain WWE song over it. I'm not going to describe it. Check it out. Like I said, Melbourne, first submission for List of the Year. Zooch, what do you got?
Okay, so I have first one, and the list can be anything really. It just as long as it's sports centric, we can have it on here. Mine is from at ST4FA, and he said Nick Bosa just faked an injury to watch Charlie Kirk Memorial on the bench.
Saw that.
It's
just brutal stuff, considering what we found out the next day. It's insane.
And then we have and this one's a little old, but I did not. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Sorry. Oh Lord, I just scrolled up too fast. Any of the tweets from Steve Spurrier's burner, that guy should be
that guy
under not health evaluation, like when they like try to make sure you're not crazy and like that's what you're in the hospital for. That's what he should be on there for. And then my last one was from Brian Kelly's Watchtower, and it says,
"Oh my gosh, wait,
Friday night in Oxford."
Wait, that's his name? I got to give this guy a follow just from the name alone.
Friday night in Oxford. Landry goes to see Whit, breaks up with him, then punches herself in the face, calls 911. Whit Weeks gets thrown into jail. LSU has no defense. Ole Miss wins 35-10. just how Lane drew it up. Fellas, it is two young people in love. Let's leave them alone. And then it's just the absolute cinema photo with Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. That's classic. I really like that one, man. I have a feeling that either way the LSU Ole Miss game goes,
And I did
we're
have
gonna
one late edition
ball me.
from previous list member Karen McGee. In honor of Mike Gundy, I'll be driving home from the bar tonight. Okay, come on.
Saw that one. That was a great one. We're gonna have some good ones after this LSU Ole Miss. I can tell. There's gonna be
It's
just be on the phones. We've had some bad social media days these last couple weeks, but Saturday's gonna be a good one. Saturday's gonna be really, really good.
especially, and I pray I would if for some reason Ole Miss gets up by a lot and Lane Kiffin is once again giving football players passes to slam in their basketball hoop they have on the sideline, Brian Kelly might have a meltdown in the post game press conference if somebody asks him about that. And I know Lane Kiffin is the type that wants to troll the absolute hell out of Brian Kelly. He does it to, I mean, he still does it to Hugh Freeze. He like tweets
He
about him
does.
with the fishing stuff. They said before he has been like removed from the coaching group chat and the SEC
Oh my
coaches group
god.
chat.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Speaking of SEC coaches, man, how much trouble do you think Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkowitz could get in together at a night if like they truly decided like they're just in Key West, Florida with disguises? Like how
Oh,
much trouble do you think those two could actually get in?
well, the thing, like Lane Kiffin's the type of guy who strikes me as he likes messing with people just for his entertainment, but it's not like vile in any way, right? Like he just likes to mess with people and give them a hard time because he knows they're like insecure about something that's not that big of a deal. It's not like their like appearance or like anything like that. And Elijah Drinkowitz would be the one who took it 10 steps further and,
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, like you remember that time your mom died, something like that. Like that's what
Yeah. It's just
they
like
seem like. So we will
Elijah
see.
Drinkowitz also just seems like the all-time "What's the next move" guy. He is the all-time "What's the next move" guy. It's like, "Hey man, it's 2:30. I got a street meat hot dog. Like we are ready to go." It's like, "Nah, man, I got a buddy who's got an apartment 3 blocks away, man. Let's go, let's go." It's like, dude, why don't you just take a chill pill, dude? All right, well, we're moving on to the last segment of the show. This has been a funny one. We're gonna go to the meme matchup, and Zooch, I'm gonna kick it off with my meme matchup first, if that's okay. And my meme matchup of the week is Idaho versus Montana. You're actually going to be able to catch this game on ESPN2. This is also known, for those of you who know him, as the Cody Voisin Bowl. This is what Cody lives for. FCS schools on national television. This game's going to be played at 8:30 Mountain Time. So yeah, I mean, jokes aside, these are two recent FCS powerhouses. I want to find out, is this game in the Kibby Bowl? Because if that's the case, the Sickos Committee. And can I just say, I love the Sickos Committee account. I feel like they've gone a little downhill in the last couple years. They is that fair to say? I remember like when
Yeah,
they
not
first
everything
came,
can be a sicko game. Like not you cannot be like, oh, USC Penn State on a Friday night at 9 p.m. Sickos unite. Do that. No,
or they'll
people
be
love
like,
it.
oh yeah, how about like I'm trying to find one. They'll, they'll be like, oh yeah, like Tennessee, Mississippi State, like pretty sicko to me. It's like what? Or they'll tweet like I can only take so much. I don't know. I just feel like it's I'll always my heart will always go out to them because they were like the first kind of funny page I followed. But man, I feel like they've just gone JV. They've gone JV. But yeah, me matchup of the week: Idaho versus Montana. This is in Montana. If it's giving me a weather, so I think it's Montana.
Montana. Mine is, and I will be part of the problem for this game come Saturday because my plan is about noon to roll out to the bars by the BSU Stadium to catch some of those earlier games 100%. I'll have to do the wardrobe, Ole Miss to Boise State change because I'm going to go to the Boise State football game. But I'm going to wait till maybe a certain member of the Voisin family is around and some App State fans are around. And maybe try to get an argument or two going about what was a bigger game, Boise State versus Oklahoma or App State versus Michigan, and just like step to the side with my beer in hand and watch Cody Boyson.
So your
Go
me
down.
matchup is Cody Boyson versus App State fans at the end zone.
Yeah, and he'll be talking about the three things he's seen about App State, like the scenery, the Michigan game, and he'll have like one more that he knows that he'll be like, "Hey, that's like that Sunbelt school, but they're a good program.
I
They're a
also
good
just I
program."
also just want to say Boise State may have an issue. An App State coach died this week. I just want to also throw that out there. Almost made App State my upset of the week just because of that, but I wanted to make sure I picked it unranked over ranked. But just watch out for that if you're a Boise State fan. But no, that'll be a funny one. I'll need to see some videos of that. But oh, great show, man! I'm so stoked for this weekend.
I
This
can't
is
wait.
this
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 is
this is like the first big weekend of the year.
and you're getting like it's what makes this weekend so good. I'm gonna look here, for example. What makes this weekend so good is Saturday, high of 81 here in Boise, low of 50. Perfect. Perfect. Let's see. Okay, that is a UK. That's not the one I wanted. Um, it's just like, and even everywhere, even in Deep South, Saturday, 83, 58. You're getting into that good fall weather that makes games. It's not, boiling hot. It's not yet quite, 9 degrees, and you're watching your own team players cry in the end zone because they lost the Mountain West Championship to
Jeez.
Fresno State. So it's I love this time of the year. End of September, all through October. It's just throw a light
Stoked.
sweat jacket on, like you're not freezing. So I
Um, I'm,
cannot wait.
I cannot wait either. Thank you all for listening. As always, make sure like and subscribe. Hit us with the follow. Send us funny videos if you're going to games. I'd love to see just funny college football stuff. That's what I live for. But with that being said, appreciate you guys. Enjoy the games tomorrow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
Peace.